Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. The path of bhakti for Kali Yuga. We are all in the era of reasoning with the material world. And the more material world we get involved, more body we are. The time changes. The cultural background goes on changing. We grow in cultural background. By birth, we are born in a particular culture, and culture gives us the impetus to be what I am for that particular age. As the time changes, through thousands of years, the cultural transformation will be there. According to the people nature, it goes on changing, culture goes on changing. You see, in our times, in my life itself, I have seen the earlier part before almost in early 1950s, 60s, how the Indian culture was there and what is the present. We have seen those days when there was no computer, there was no mobile, there is no electricity properly. We had to use lamps. We could not communicate with far off people as we are doing with the mobile. And how we lived in the villages, we one with the nature, with a few cows and plowing with hand using the animals. Everywhere we used to travel on horses and horse carriages. Now the whole thing, we are entering into the scientific era of materialistic developments. So the culture is changing, the awarenesses of people are changing. The children born now are entirely different from the children who were born about 60, 70 years back. This one has changed. We see the change in culture. Culture is what is making me. Culture is what is giving me the understanding of what I am, what this world is, the conception of God, my duties and responsibilities, everything changes with the culture. My life, my understanding, everything changes with the culture. So there is a great change that we see in the culture. Now, cultural relativity, how the relativity, I am made of a particular cultural background pertaining to previous era, now it is changing. My understanding of the world is different from the present people's understanding of the world, and how it changes, how it transforms, how it undergoes tremendous change. So, as the time changes, the understanding of God, the path and everything changes. And when there is a larger change, there must be divine help, there must be divine support, and then it is possible for us to develop the right understanding. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, the Saguna Brahman is meant for the Bhaktas. In other words, Bhakta believes that God has attributes and He reveals Himself to men as a person. We are in the era of scientific developments, of material world. And to a few centuries back, we see few centuries back, Shankaracharya's time and all, the awarenesses were entirely different. They were in the realm of spirit. Spiritual awareness was very strong. Now material awareness is very strong. The same law and understanding, the path of Advaita, the path of Vedanta was very easy because they are in the awareness of the divine, trying to see the divine everywhere, trying to understand everything in the background of divine. Now the times have changed. It has changed drastically from spiritual existence to bodily existence, from the pursuits of the spirit to the pursuits of the material world. Now we cannot have the same awareness, same understanding to go in the same path. Now there is a shift of paradigm, there must be a shift of our awarenesses, and now what we can do is hold on to God with form and cultivate devotion, because devotion is independent of reasoning. The moment we bring reasoning into picture, we start denying the presence of God. We have to awaken the heart now. Then we will be able to perceive new light in life and new light in spiritual world. Now with the intellect, reasoning is always inclined towards not Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. It is how to acquire material prosperity, how to get money, how to enjoy bodily, because reasoning is predominant. The whole thing changes when the understanding changes entirely to a new dimension. Here we see Sri Ramakrishna, Saguna Brahman, he is meant for the bhaktas. Saguna Sakara. With guna, Saguna. The qualities, attributes are there. Saguna Sakara, with form. In other words, Bhakta believes that God has attributes. Attributes is something like he is very merciful, very kind. All these Ananta Kalyana Guna Paripurna, all this comes under the attributes of God. He is all pervading, He is in the heart of everyone. Anybody can turn inward and He is all pervading. You can individually connect to Him and call on Him. Individually can experience Him independent of other things. So these are the attributes. He approaches the devotee who calls upon Him with sincerity and love. These are the attributes of God, and reveals Himself to men as a person, assuming forms, because He is not limited by anything, limited by any means. He cannot be God. Limited cannot be God. If you say God is this alone, if you limit Him, He cannot be God. He can be anything. He can be things which we cannot imagine also. Thakur Sri Ramakrishna says, He is Saguna, He is Nirguna, and many more things. What can you understand with this small mind about Him? It is sufficient to love and transcend the nature and be free forever. You will enter the life eternal and experience the God and be one with the absolute reality. So the mukti is possible. The release from the nature's bindings is possible. So we are holding on to the form, and as a person, because he is not limited by forms, he can assume any form. Whatever way you want him, he presents himself. Imagine you yourself had the capacity, you are not limited by your form and could take any form and go anywhere. How it would be? Yeah, if someone wants to see you in some particular form, you will be there. You want to see someone in some other form, he will be there. So that kind of God has no limitation of form and can assume any form. It is He who listens to our prayers. He listens to our prayers because He is all pervading. He is the Antaryami. As you express, He is already there in your expression. He is already there because He is all pervading. He is already like space. Space pervades everything. Every bit of existence in this universe, whether it is depth of your ear or the whole bodily existence, space pervades it. Every object, space pervades it. And what is happening anywhere, suppose the space is conscious, it can understand every bit. Now consciousness, Chaitanya, Vishwa Chaitanya, whom we call God, pervades everything including space. Because He is all pervading, He can listen to your prayers. He is there already listening. You have to pray, express, He is there receiving it. If it is not pointed, He understands the feelings, but if you express, He receives it, He picks it up. Even if you don't pray, He is there with all your thoughts, feelings and actions. He is there pervading it. But He is not concerned because it's going on according to the nature's laws. Prakriti Niyama. Everything is Prakriti Niyama going on. You are thinking something, you are feeling something, there is a counter reaction. Action and reaction are equal and opposite. There is a reaction. That's all. God is an observant, He is a silent witness of all the happening within. But when you call, He is already there. When you call, He picks up your call. If He is not there, His witnesses without picking it up. When you pray, He picks up your prayers. The difference is only He is picking up when you pray, but He is witnessing and be an part of existence. Your thoughts exist because He exists. So you see existence there, His pervasion you see, and so it is He who listens to our prayers. The prayers that you utter are directed to Him alone. The prayers that you utter are directed. You are praying to some particular aspect of God. You are focused it on. It is like a torch focus. It reaches there. It is directed to Him alone. You are bhaktas. He is mentioning this to the Brahmo people. Brahmo people think themselves to be Vedantins who doesn't believe in the form of God and who doesn't believe in the worship of the idols. So he is breaking their limitation they have put upon themselves. Don't limit God. You will realize Him. Break all the, like a child, without any limitation, you approach God. He is there. Don't precondition your mind. Don't set your understanding. Don't limit yourself. Don't put on any limitations. Break open. A bhakta doesn't have limitation. A jnani has limitation. He puts the limitation on the what he is seeing and experiencing as unreal. This world is Maya. He is experiencing And while experiencing, he is telling his Maya. He is putting a limitation on what he is the truth for him at that level, at the level of prior to realization of God. This world is real to us. I am putting a limitation on it as unreal. So, with limitation you cannot understand the unlimited. In Bhakta, he doesn't put any limitation on anything. I love God. Whatever he is, in any form, and he believes that God comes in the form that he calls upon. Suppose he is loving God as Krishna, he is going to come in the form of Krishna. If he is in the form of Rama, he is going to come in the form of Rama. In Hinduism, this is one speciality of Hinduism. God is accepted in a way that anybody can approach God in any way and God responds to him in that way. This concept is not there in any other religion usually. That is, I approach God as my Father, exactly as Father he can come to me. My father may not be alive at all, but still in the same form of my child. Suppose I had a child and child is dead and I want God to come as that child. He can come as that child and be with me. So that understanding, God is something unknown and unknowable, but as I want him, I can approach, and as I want him, he will reach me. This is an important thing, that everyone has access to God and everyone can reach him, realize him. That's why Ramakrishna is identifying them as you are bhaktas, because deep within they may deny everything, but deep within is the same metal with which they are made. You are bhaktas, not jnanis or Vedantists. It does not matter whether you accept God with form or not, because they are Brahmos. It does not matter whether you accept God with form or not. It is enough to feel that God is a person who listens to our prayers. To that extent, God is a person who listens to our prayers, who creates, preserves and destroys the universe, Srishti Pralaya, and who is endowed with infinite power. He can do and undo anything, because what we see is that there should not be any limitation on God. He is omnipotent, he is omnipresent, he is omniconscient, he is omni-compassionate. All these, he has infinite aspects. He pervades everything, he is everywhere, and he is beyond everywhere also. Everywhere means time and space comes into picture. He is beyond the time and space. Time and space appears in him and disappears. So we have no limitations put on him. So he is with infinite power. The previous line it says, who creates, preserves and destroys the universe. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya goes on, who is endowed with infinite power. It is easier to attain God by following the path of devotion. It is easier. Not that following the path of jnana you cannot realize. But you can realize with a lot of difficulties, and you have to undergo. Even ordinary bhaktas, as soon as the external purification is over, nothing is affecting in the world at gross level. nothing is attracting, he is neutral to everything, then no disturbance within. At any moment he can dive within and withdraw his mind. Then he is ready for ekanta. He goes, even though he is a bhakta, he enters into total seclusion because external things are not disturbing him or attracting. He doesn't need anything now. Nothing, any pain, any suffering doesn't affect him. So he can enter into ekanta. The moment he enters into ekanta, he is ready for entering into ekanta, that is solitude, and when he enters into solitude, all the other things which were a subtle level, sukshma rupa, all desires, this, that, in sukshma rupa will come away. So we can see in the nature of people what is inside him. External behavior may be different, but deep inside he will be seeking something. His behavior is limited by the deep inside. He may be understanding, his understanding of himself may not be real. In and through all the activities, what is he seeking? Is he seeking enjoyments of the world? Is he seeking something prosperity in the world? Is he seeking name and fame? What is he seeking in and through activities? So this is the center of consciousness. Putraishana, Vittaishana, Lokaishana. Putraishana, somehow people can give up. Vittaishana also can be given up. Lokaishana, to seek the appreciation of the people. To please people, people must appreciate, people must say, very good. For that they will be losing God, seeking small things in the world. This lokashana is the last thing that goes. Just like among the senses, taste is the last thing that disappears from the person. Like this, that lokashana persists. When he enters into sukshma, oh, I was doing all that, I was doing work, I was doing service, everything was to satisfy that one desire of. There he starts eliminating. The sukshma. Again and again, the moment he enters into ekanta, you can see, if you ask a person to sit for a few days in ekanta, how he suffers from inside. He is not able to sit, he is not able to sit. We think we can sit day and night and call on God. No, we can't. We have to combine it with intense activity. With activity alone the sadhana goes. Without activity sadhana doesn't go, because base expansion takes place through the work. Spiritual evolution takes place. Height is increased with the expansion of base, otherwise it will fall down, nor it will not raise. You cannot increase the height of a building without expanding its base. Expansion of base takes place through activities, work. You are bringing to the physical level your understanding. As you grow, so much of activities will increase. You have to increase the activities. More times for sadhana, more time for activities. How much activities you do? Only that much. Otherwise, you will be wasting time sitting in. You will simply sit and do nothing. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasasmaran. He withdraws from the external world, sits alone and starts. He is wasting his life, doing nothing. He can't think of God continuously. With work, if he doesn't forget God, then he will not forget God even when he is sitting for meditation. He starts visualizing God. If he is working in the world, with thought of God, he visualizes the form of God in the dhyana. Dhyana becomes natural because during activities he is holding on to God. Then during meditation he sees the form of God. Otherwise, even form to bring into picture in the mind becomes difficult. The only way is to see that during activities I don't forget God, and during meditation world doesn't come into picture, nor I enter into sleep or dullness. This is the right way of expansion. So God listens to prayers who creates. It is easier to attain God following the path of devotion. Brahmo devotee. Sir, is it possible for one to see God? If so, why can't we see Him? Master, yes. He can surely be seen. One can see His forms and His formless aspect as well. How can I explain that to you? Certain things cannot be explained, can be experienced, but what I experience cannot be explained. Suppose there is a pain in my leg. I can tell there is a pain, but he cannot experience. I cannot make him experience my pain in the leg. I experience, but I cannot make him experience. I cannot tell how much of pain is there, what kind of pain is there. I can never make him understand. How the pain comes, how pain went away, I cannot show him. So these small things I cannot, my feelings I cannot make him feel. So it is a subjective experience. If it is an objective experience, we have common source, common subject. God is a subjective experience. It is an individual experience which others do not participate in it. Suppose I am seeing a fan there, a plate there. I show there is a fan, there is a plate, see there. It is common to us. It is an objective viewing. God cannot be objectively viewed. He is subjective experience. I experience God. The pain is subjective experience. It cannot be revealed to anybody how that pain is, what is there. It is subjective experience. So each subjective experience, the ultimate subjective experience is God, which can never be told. Sri Ramakrishna is expressing this. Yes, He can surely be seen. One can see His forms, His formless aspect as well. How can I explain that to you? Brahmo devotee, what are the means by which one sees God? Now, when we get the clear understanding, yes, God can be seen. Sri Ramakrishna is implanting, removing the doubt and implanting the faith in them. Yes, my child, you can realize God. When Naren comes and asks, have you seen God? He says, yes, I have seen. I can make you see. How we come down from step to step. Now, I had a doubt whether God can be seen or not seen. When we step down, what is the path to see Him? Means he has already accepted Sri Ramakrishna's advice, Ramakrishna's instruction that God can be seen. I have seen, you too can see. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.